Local officials are urging attentive driving in school zones as classes start getting underway throughout northeast Wisconsin. Drew Best joins us live in the newsroom with some of the safety practices encouraged by police. Drew.
Yeah, at least tens of thousands of kids in our communities will be walking, biking, or riding the bus to school this fall. And that congestion can lead to a lot of close calls if people aren't cautious. Today, I spoke with school resource officers and other officials who all agree a crucial piece of keeping the community safe as school starts back up is to avoid speeding, both for drivers and students. Slowing down in your car or on your bike could save you and others from getting seriously hurt. If your child walks to school, police encourage you also to help them practice and memorize their route and use crosswalks where you will likely see crossing guards getting students to and from school safely. Green Bay Traffic Sergeant Sean Hamill tells me both kids and adults need to be on high alert when they are near any school.
Every life is precious. We want to make sure that everybody within the crosswalks or within the school zones, pedestrians as well as motorists, is safe. Especially watch for children. Children aren't familiar with the roads. They may dart into traffic mid-block, may just dart across the crosswalk, so make sure you're really paying attention for that.
Sergeant Hamill also says they are fortunate to not have to deal with a lot of serious incidents in school zones in recent time, but they have seen some close calls, and for him and other officials, any one crash would be too many. Elise?